12-year-old Freddie Mercury at St. Peter's Boys' School, Panchgani, India, 1958. (1939) Schleuerwagen. It was built by German engineer Hans Schleuer von Westhofen-Dirmstein to look like an airplane wing. This car was more aerodynamically efficient than most 21st century cars. An American soldier cradles a wounded Japanese boy and shelters him from the rain in the cockpit of an airplane during the Battle of Saipan, while waiting to transport the youngster to a field hospital. July 1944. Private First Class Mickey Rooney is imitating some Hollywood actors for an audience of infantrymen of the 44th Division. Rooney's a member of a three-man unit taking a jeep tour to entertain the troops. The year is 1945. Lumberjacks are cutting trees in the Pacific Northwest United States in 1915. Alabama Governor George Wallace stands at the door of the University of Alabama in protest of integration. It was June 11th, 1963. Black Sabbath, London, 1973. German soldiers are trading clothes with their French girlfriends in France during the 1940s. Listening to the Birds, 1885. In 1940, factory workers in London, England produced spectacles compatible with gas masks. East River Jumpers, New York City, 1948. Carolyn Kennedy walks in front of her father, the President of the United States, while he carries her doll in 1963. Playing golf high up on the Empire State Building in New York City during its 1932 construction. Two young women are enjoying themselves on the Caterpillar ride at Southend Fair, Essex, in October of 1938. New parents of quadruplets, the 1880s. In 1961, Soviet doctor Leonid Rogozov was stationed at a Russian base in Antarctica when he realized he had acute appendicitis, and he was the only physician there. Women trainees of the Los Angeles Police Department practiced firing their newly issued revolvers in 1948. Boy Scouts are raising their hats on sticks to cheer for the King. This is at the Duke of Connaught's request during the First World War, on the home front. A window washer on the Empire State Building in 1936. A Catholic woman and her Protestant husband rest in graves divided by a wall. That's to symbolise the religious divide of their time, and this is in the Netherlands. An amphibious scooter stands in the centre of New York in the 1930s. The Public Library of Cincinnati's first bookmobile, dating back to 1927. Seth Kinman is a mountain man with unique hunting skills, 1865 California. Vasily Arkhipov played a pivotal role during the Cuban Missile Crisis. He made the crucial decision to withhold consent for launching a nuclear torpedo in response to the US dropping depth charges. The year is 1937, and a forest of oil derricks is springing up on the Signal Hill oil field in Long Beach, California. The advertisement is for an infrared lamp from Germany 1960. A little girl is buying balloons, Berlin 1935. The first selfie in the history of Iran was taken by Nasseruddin Shah with his concubines in 1854. Champion bloodhound Leo of Reynolton being cuddled by his little mistress, Dorothy Horder, at the Crufts Dog Show in London 1935. A crowd of 40,000 people give the Nazi salute in response to a speech given by Czech Nazi leader Konrad Henlin on May 1st, 1938. There are 4 women in a small home gym. One is wearing a dress and appears to be watching the others. Another woman is on a bench using dumbbells. A third is using a weight machine. The fourth is standing beside her. It was captured on the morning of August 3rd, 1952. This creepy photo appears to show 4 unidentified flying objects hovering across the skies of Salem, Massachusetts. The view shows St Mary's, Aldermanbury. It's surrounded by buildings that were devastated by the Luftwaffe's incendiary bombing blitz during World War II in 1941. Bran Castle, also known as Dracula's Castle in Romania, 1920s. The mascot of the USS Pennsylvania is amusing some of the sailors in 1917. Sean Connery teaches handstands during breaks of shooting a James Bond film. It's a group photo of military electricians from 1918. The world's first powered submarine, 1879. The aerocycle was intended for beginners. Supposedly it would be possible to steer it simply by shifting your weight. 1950s. There's a chess queen in Paramount's Alice in Wonderland from 1933. Civil War, The Soldier's Return, amazing acting. The man is a Portuguese shepherd. The year is 1900. The last photo taken of famous inventor Nikola Tesla, 1943. Aboard the HMAS Nizam in 1941, there are cats in a hammock. Ludgershall train station on the Midland and South Western Junction Railway in 1901. Craniofacial injury. It's a French soldier with a serious wound to his mouth and cheek before plastic surgery. The photograph was taken around 1916. This high school girl has the jean jacket and hairstyle that were popular in the 1970s. Henry Cabot Lodge points the bugging device hidden in the Great Seal. Ford unsuccessfully tried to reinvent the steering wheel by replacing it with a pair of twisty dials in the 1960s. This is the first publicly sold bottle of Coca-Cola, released in 1894. A young English Victorian lady is posing with her pet cat. The photo was taken around the 1890s. Audrey Hepburn in How to Steal a Million, 1966. This is George Hackenschmidt, the man credited with inventing the bench press. Dancing shoes for a couple. It was the Great River Thames Flood, 1928. David Attenborough entertains Prince Charles and Princess Anne with a cockatoo, 1958. Lunch, around the 1950s. Service at the Track restaurant in Los Angeles, 1950s. Food was delivered via conveyor belt directly to cars. A young Hillary Clinton with her mother, 1957. The Dale Creek Bridge, a bridge built in Wyoming in the 1800s, was so rickety that trains had to slow down to 4 miles per hour to cross it safely. 1944. A veterinary surgeon is helping a dog in the street. Something happened with a wartime bomb and it made him close his business. Imagine roller skating to work in New York City in 1940. There's a British soldier sheltering from the rain under an overturned Tiger tank. This happened in Italy in 1944. Gloria Steinem, Bella Abzug, Shirley Chisholm, and Betty Friedan formed the National Women's Political Caucus in 1971. Imagine a first-class lounge on a 1960s airplane. Anti-war demonstrators try flower power on soldiers blocking the Pentagon building in Arlington, Virginia, on October 21, 1967. A motorist on the edge of the Grand Canyon, United States of America, 1914. There's a portrait of a young girl and a child. This was taken in Japan around 1908. This is Salvador Dali with 6 arms. This is a picture of a black female Union soldier from 1862. The White Pass Trail, which is sometimes called the Dead Horse Trail, is at the border of Canada and the United States. This was in 1898. A steam locomotive moves along a flooded street during a flood in Boston, 1915. Vatican Gallery of the Library around 1855. Nicknamed the Mole by Winston Churchill, the Cultivator No. 6. This enigmatic piece of military hardware was developed by the Royal Navy, not for naval operations, but for digging trenches on land. This wild-looking thing is a balloon apron from World War I. It's a giant net suspended from balloons that was used to help protect England from aerial attacks. In 1908, Child Emperor Puyi, the last emperor, ascended the Chinese throne at the age of 3. The Ponca Indians, 1865. The first ever elephant in Bulgaria, named Nal, was intended for the Sofia Zoo. He was used as cattle here. A German soldier comes home from war. He finds his house bombed. His family has perished in the remains. This is Frankfurt, 1946. Teenagers of the 50th years of the last century feel the difference. The person in the photo, which was taken some time ago, is sitting in a chair at a table. There's a white carton of milk on the table in front of them. The person is holding a glass, and they appear to be about to pour some milk into it. A barge is maneuvering under the Michigan Avenue Bridge, Chicago in 1953. Honey, could you bring me some coffee, 1940s? This is an employment portrait of Ava Gardner, who was 19 years old in 1941. The Gadget, the First Atomic Bomb, 1945. Soldiers are embracing. There was a meeting on the Elbe River between American and Soviet troops in 1945. A British soldier on the streets of Belfast, 1969. A reporter and construction worker are balancing on the beams of the Wrigley Building during its construction, showing Chicago's iconic architecture in progress. This took place in Chicago, Illinois around 1920. There's an emaciated boy during the Dutch famine, also known as the Hunger Winter, in the Netherlands during World War II. This was around 1944. American helicopters fire machine guns into the forest, covering the advance of South Vietnamese troops on a Viet Cong camp. 1965. The traditional Korean dress, or hanbok, at the turn of the 20th century was pretty much the same as it had been for 500 years. For women, this included a short, high-waisted jacket that was called a joggery. It was worn with a long wraparound skirt called a chima. Men's hanbok consisted of a joggery and a baji, or loose-fitting pants. They also wore a vest called a jockey and an overcoat known as a duramagi. Both men and women would often top off their outfits with a hat or head covering. An 8-year-old boy is leaving Buchenwald camp in 1945. Children are working in a large private bean pickers camp near West Staten, Oregon. Workers from various states, including Oklahoma and North Dakota, gather there for the harvest. This is in Marion County, Oregon, in 1939. August 15th, 1934, a novelty bar in the shape of a teapot on Blackpool Beach. There's bomb damage in Manchester from World War II. The opening ceremonies at Woodstock. On the afternoon of Friday, August 15th, 1969, Richie Havens was called to the stage. He was the first of 32 acts to perform at the Woodstock Music and Art Fair. He played for nearly 3 hours. Charles Ponzi, the notorious con artist, became the namesake for Ponzi schemes because of his infamous investment scam. A man is standing among towering stacks of wood at the Seattle Cedar Lumber Manufacturing lumberyard. This shows the scale of the industry. The photo was taken in Seattle in 1939. Thomas Edison, who was 30 years old, around 1878. Girls were sent home from McKinley High School for wearing slacks and blue jeans in Chicago, 1946.